You want to talk about a little technical aspects of Scorsese movies?
Yeah,
Yeah, we would
can.
love to.
I know a little bit. Yeah, most of it is like if there is something unsettling going with the main character, he will use some handheld movements. But
Yeah.
if the character is going with his life is going very smooth way, he will use some dolly movements or
Yeah.
camera held on some tripod.
Stabilizers and stuff.
Yeah.
See, the best
I
part
just-
about Scorsese movies, or rather the cinematography, now that you mentioned it, is one thing that it, just like Spielberg, it never feels like it is there.
Mm.
We don't appreciate the cinematography of a Scorsese movie because we never notice it.
Yeah.
We never notice that this film is dependent on cinematography.
Absolutely.
And that is the reason why Robert Richardson works very great with him, because he's worked with Tarantino, he's worked with Kubrick, he's worked with a lot of directors, and you can never see Robert Richardson in the cinematography. You can always see Scorsese in a Scorsese film. You can always see Kubrick in a Kubrick film. You can always see Tarantino in a Tarantino film. But it's Robert Richardson behind the camera. And why is that? Because it never feels like the camera is there. We are just watching it from our own eyes. And that is the best thing about Scorsese movies in general, because they don't have a specific look to them, unless you count the tracking shots that he always uses. You know, he tracks a lot of characters around. He has a lot of voiceovers, and he has a fourth wall break thing going on every time. He uses slow motion. But if you get into the details, you will find knacks about Scorsese movies in terms of cinematography. But if you see, lighting is subtle. Very simple lighting, very natural, very practical. Even sound for that matter. Scorsese uses soundtrack to amp up his sound design. You know, he doesn't use original score that much. His favorite song to use, by the way, is "Gimme Shelter" by Rolling Stones. He uses that in every film. And then you could see, it's like the camera isn't even there. It's like you aren't even watching a movie, you're watching the events unfold in front of your eyes. That happens in a Spielberg movie as well, but Spielberg movies have a look to it.
Yeah.
They feel like a Spielberg
more-
movie.
Yeah. I mean, it depends upon the color also they use.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
color palette. Yeah. I mean, if you see Irishman, the color palette changes with the era.
Yeah. You know, in The Irishman, they actually used a technique called as I don't remember what it's called as, but they used a very nice grading technique. Yeah, it's called calibration. It's called calibration in Photoshop terms. You might have seen that in the Camera Raw filter if you might have done Photoshop. Yeah, you can see blue highlights in their hair and perfect skin. That is usually achieved by calibration.
Yeah. I mean, if you see
that-
the first era, it has more
Yeah.
green color.
A more greener palette, a more I don't know, a less refined one, I would say. But then,
A little.
keeping all the
You know,
de-aging techniques aside and all the 3 camera setups that he used, it's like the grading has an influence on us. I never felt like I was watching a movie. I was just so invested into it because of the grading. And color can play an important role in our lives, you know? And that is why it's so important in movies. I mean, it's just so underrated. Even music gets all the recognition it deserves, but color doesn't.
Yeah. So guys, don't hate me. I'm your friend. Maybe I was just tired. But just 20 minutes into The Departed, I fell asleep.
Yeah.
So
See, it's
yeah,
slow,
please don't hate
but
me
it's
for
not
that.
boring.
It's a,
No, yeah.
yeah,
सबका अलग अलग रहता है.
yeah.
But then
Yeah, I mean,
Maybe I was just tired.
the See, most of the movies that are similar to The Departed are not supposed to be thrillers. I think The Department was an excellent documentary of a rat within the crime family and a rat within the police department.
Yeah.
You know, because things like that happen. Things like that happen in real life as well. There are informants of the police in the crime families and they actually don't get caught, or they do get caught and stuff like that. I think Departed was more like a documentary on those. It's not exactly a documentary because it's not kinda based on real events, kinda not. But then I get what you're saying. It's it doesn't grip you. It doesn't keep you on the edge of your seat.
Middle of the in the middle part of the movie,
Right.
it just but at the very end,
Goes astray.
Yeah, you were stuck up to the seat, but not that to the edge. Like
Exactly. I mean, you wouldn't get the same reaction while watching Finch's Gone Girl.
which movie?
Finch's Gone Girl.
Oh,
that. Yeah, Gone Girl, oh my god.
Yeah, you wouldn't get the same reaction while watching that. But then, Departed isn't a movie. Like I said, it's like a narration. It's like, this is what happened in supposedly a crime family. Even Goodfellas for that matter.
Yeah.
Scorsese movies are too lengthy. Yeah. I mean, the very ending was just very unsettling, It
Absolutely.
didn't make me, everybody dies.
Yeah.
And,
Spoiler alert, please.
I'm just like Mark Ruffalo, I feel. Yes.
So moving on to thrillers, because the other part of this podcast is supposed to be about thrillers.
No, we can stick to just Scorsese also, man.
Works, no problem.
Yeah. I mean,
I don't have a
just
script, so don't worry about it.
Nobody has. So I just thought that Scorsese will be a topic, but I mean, the way you spoke and the way you have imparting knowledge, we can speak up to hours together. But I mean,
Right? Please join for a part 2, because this is not going to be part 1. Can we do a part 2?
I mean, oh, for sure. I mean, no, but we have to change to another topic.
Works. We can speak about thrillers in part 2, right?
Yeah. I mean,
Sure.
see, as I said already, the guest we are inviting here for one episode, they are not for one episode.
I know.
return. Yeah. I mean, you are not practically a guest, but you can say a friend who you're just a recurring character, bro. You're like Doug Judy in Brooklyn
Nice way
Nine-Nine.
to put it.
Yeah. You can join the cast later. Just
One part, have you ever noticed one thing? There is no elaborate scenes in Scorsese movies. You don't get the traditional kind of Spielberg realism, like closure. Spielberg is known for closure. Tarantino is known for excess. Tarkovsky is known for poetry. Kubrick is known for illusions. But then, what is Scorsese known for?
You just know for simplicity. I mean, what's
Detailing.
really just
Details, yeah, details are technical, but then narrative based, what is Scorsese known for?
I think for reality.
Reality, yeah, maybe.
To show I think for reality. Yeah. I mean, the way he shows everything.
They're
it feels
relatable. They're relatable to the real life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're moving closer towards the answer I'm expecting, but I'll not spoil it and I'll not tease you any further. I'll give it to you. So, the answer I was looking for is simply characterization.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You
do
don't-
that, yes.
You don't feel
Agree.
they are characters.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah,
you
real
mentioned,
life.
Taxi Driver, you can watch it today, tomorrow, or yesterday. It still feels real. Even Travis Bickle, there could be a Travis Bickle living right next to us and we wouldn't know. So that is the perfect amount of characterization that Scorsese puts into it. You don't need to know details about characters in Scorsese movies, Even though they are simply mob men, they're hitmen, they're mafia, they're related towards crime or something like that. You don't really need to know the details, and they still don't feel 2D. They still feel completely three-dimensional.
Yeah, we get to know it.
Yeah.
We
And
get
that
to
is
know the character.
That is the most important part of Exactly. That is the most important part of a Scorsese movie, I feel, is the characterization, not even the characters. Forget the characters, the characterization. I don't want to let people know what this person is going through without actually needing a reason to do so. You know, in Saving Private
That is the
Ryan,
foundation, right?
yeah, that is exactly the foundation. Even in Saving Private Ryan, one of my favorite movies, period, you know, not just Spielberg, not just Tom Hanks, not just war movies, one of my favorite movies, period. Tom Hanks's character, Captain Miller, actually has a reason to tell the people that he's a schoolmaster. You know, he taught kids English, and he has a wife and kids, he has a family at home, and you know, it is built up to that point wherein he doesn't really want to let the squad know what he is. None of the company knows who he is, who Captain Miller is. He's just some captain that showed up at the drill, and he's like, I'm gonna be a new captain. Don't ask any questions about me. The people actually made a pool. We'll pile in money and we'll maybe give a party of that when the captain reveals his true identity. But the real thing is, Spielberg had a reason to do this. Whereas if you see Jimmy Conway's outrage after they whacked Tommy in Goodfellas, Jimmy has no reason to cry, but he still does. I mean, whacking people, even they are so close to your heart and stuff like that, even whacking people is a part of your job. It is gonna happen to you someday, it is gonna happen to your loved one someday. That is what you take as an oath mentally when you go into that family, right? When you go into that crime drama sort of thing. But still Jimmy cries, and we actually feel something for him once. You know, we feel like, arey, this person is suffering from something. And that is what I like to talk about Scorsese movies a lot, is the characterization. You really get to know characters without knowing them. Like Tarantino, he straight up delivers exposition. Who is the character? This is Lucy Liu's character in Kill Bill 1, or an Ishi. She is also known as Cottonmouth, and all of those things and stuff like that. But then Jimmy Conway is just like Jimmy Conway. He's like the main mob enforcer. That's all we get to know about him. But still, there is so much character into Jimmy Conway. There is so much character into Henry Hill. Even though I never knew who Henry Hill was before I watched Goodfellas. But then, when I watched Henry Hill, the real one, I felt like, yeah, this is the guy I watched in a movie. Without actually feeling like Ray Liotta portrayed him in a different way than he is in real life. In fact, Ray Liotta did a bang-up job on Henry Hill, and full commendations to him. But then, exactly that is the thing that I would love for you to take an insight on Scorsese movies, is the characterization.
Now we are talking about Scorsese. I mean, last or 2019 or 2018, he commented like Marvel movies are billion-dollar amusement parks.
Yeah, that was the topic.
Yeah, it was controversial, but I totally agree with him. I mean, me being a big Marvel fan, I think so. Each and every Marvel film is a comedy film. Yeah, there are very subtle genre in it, very less reference to
money
other genres.
grabbers.
Yeah, money grabbers. But the way he said, he was, I mean, उसको क्यों backlash किया इतना? I mean, I was not.
I'll tell you
with
why.
it.
You see, as a Scorsese lover and as a Marvel lover, I mean, Himanshu will tell you this. I've been reading Marvel comics since I was 4. And I got introduced to MCU since Marvel comics. But then, I feel there is absolutely no reason for the Avengers film to not exist. I mean, come on, dude. You really 98% of the populace,
Mhm.
they don't go to watch a film to understand art.
Yeah.
I mean, up until a point, I wasn't going to watch a film to understand art. I was just going because out of my 24 hours, I just wanted 3 hours to be my own time.
Enjoyment.
Enjoyment. I wanted to relieve myself from 3 hours of stress, 24 hours of stress, only for 3 hours. And for that, aren't the Marvel films enough of an entertainment?
Yeah, they're full of entertainment. Yeah.
They're more than that. They're more than just entertainment at this point. It's the universe. You've got so many theories. You've got so many different characters.
Yeah.
And the best part about it is that it's cheap. In the sense that you're getting it for cheap. You're getting entertainment for 350 rupees at IMAX or something. I mean, at Madhuban it's very less, but then who goes and watches the film at Madhuban?
Yeah.
But then, it's like 350 rupees. 3 घंटे का movie है. I'll watch it. And I don't really care if it is artistic. I don't really care if. But who says it's not artistic, dude? People, there are like visual effects. Exactly. There are like I see so many Indian people in the rotoscoping and VFX department, in the tracking department. They put in so much effort into it.
Yeah.
So I feel like, Scorsese was right in the sense that it is a cash grabber. But then, isn't it needed? Like, I wouldn't go to watch a Scorsese movie as a simple person, a normal, simple human being. I wouldn't go to watch a Scorsese movie in theaters. But then I would go to watch a Marvel movie. I would rewatch it again because of entertainment. So it just puts a nice notion into it, wherein you say films are not just art; they are entertainment.
Yeah.
True.
I mean, I'm not disagreeing with Scorsese, dude. After a point, now the Marvel Cinematic Universe kind of feels chewed up. It's like बस हो गया यार, बहुत हो गया.
It looks like a big थाली, कि मतलब वो बड़ा थाली है, उसमें 36 रखे खाने को, फिर वो प्लेट देख के अपना पेट भर जाता.
Exactly.
खाना. Yeah. So I mean,
now in 2021, if someone decides to watch all the 29 films of Marvel Cinematic Universe, it will be too much for them.
Yeah. Besides 23.
No matter, they'll enjoy, but then after the 29th movie, they would be like, okay. Okay, my plate is filling up now.
Yeah, I was not ready for WandaVision or anything else after Endgame.
And the best thing is you get something to talk about.
Yeah.
I mean, I know I can talk about Scorsese. I know we can talk about Scorsese. I know we can talk about a lot of films. But then the people whom they are targeting, they get to talk about films.
Yeah.
They get to spread the love of films. They get to be like, "Arey, CGI sahi hai usme." Dude, up until the point they didn't even know what CGI was.
Yeah.
But now they know, which is a good thing, right?
Yeah.
I mean, complete total arbitrary BS aside, films are made for entertainment.
Yes.
You go to watch a film because you want to just take a break from reality, and that's what Marvel does. That we take a break from reality when we watch that. Anyone in the comments can also contest me with my opinion, but then Scorsese, as much as I love him, I wouldn't put him on a pedestal when it comes to opinions. I wouldn't be like, जो Scorsese बोलेगा वही सही है.
What would be your top 3 thrillers? Must
Top
watch
3 thrillers.
Must watch. For recommendation. We have to
Must watch thriller.
कि मतलब
Okay.
देखो.
In no particular order.
Any language, not English compulsory. Any language.
No. It is gonna be English because like there are not many good thrillers in Hindi. At least standing up to these three that I'm gonna speak about. So first, obviously, it's not in no particular order. Okay, this is not. I'm not ranking them in any way.
Sure. Yeah.
It's just first, I would recommend you to watch Shutter Island, like we mentioned, with a different narrative. Now that you've enjoyed this podcast, hopefully, but then now Shutter Island, you will watch it with a different narrative. You will watch it with a first viewing, second viewing, third viewing, and obviously you will view it more than once. It's a must-watch film in that. Second is Gone Girl, like we mentioned, a really amazing thriller, and keeps you on the edge of your seats and doesn't let go.
Yeah.
It stays. The third thriller, and this one I feel is the most important thriller for you to watch if you're gonna be doing something similar to this. It's Seven.
7. Oh, nice.
Oh, 7. Damn it.
Seven by
Fincher.
Fincher, David Fincher.
Fincher.
Just watch that film, and it's so perfect in a way that you have a religious side and you have a much more practical side, both of which are conflicting against a setting of 7 different murders based around a religious ideology. It just ties in together so beautifully.
That's such a beautifully crafted movie.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean,
Now there are so many more
unpopular.
thrillers to talk about. From Bollywood, if you just want to mention a few, Badla is an amazing thriller.
Amitabh Bachchan.
Amitabh Bachchan and
Taapsee
Taapsee Pannu, Badla. Amazing thriller. And also Ugly is another one. Anurag Kashyap's
Oh,
Ugly.
nice. Yeah.
And we also have a third, but this is probably one of my favorite ever. Okay, don't judge me. Drishyam.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
If you haven't watched it yet, please do watch it. I mean, जो पुराना हो गया 2 और 3 अक्टूबर को हम लोग पणजी गए थे.
हाँ, 2-3.
But then, if you haven't watched it already, please do watch it. It's not. Also, one more, Raat Akeli hai.
Oh, yeah. Last year's
Nawaz
best
Uddin
film.
Siddiqui's Raat Akeli hai. Both of these films, Drishyam and Nawaz Raat Akeli hai, I feel like they are more human than the other thrillers. They show the
what would a human do? Yeah.
humanity side of a crime. You know,
Yeah,
it's a crime, but there is a human side to it. And that is why I urge you to watch these 2 thrillers first, Raat Akeli hai and Drishyam, because even though Drishyam is kind of a mainstream, Raat Akeli is a noir. You will get a much more insight into 60s filmmaking by watching a 2020 ka film.
And it's a debut film for the director.
Yeah, I don't know the name of the director, but he's done a great job.
Yeah,
I mean, it's a simple whodunit.
I think so, Mr. Hani Tehran. I think so.
Hani Tehran. Hani Tehran. Yeah. So, it's a simple whodunit. Like there is a mystery, a murder. An inspector is called to solve it, and then he goes through questioning all the people, uncovering their motives, and finally you get to know who the killer is. But then there are so many aspects to it that completely go unnoticed. The inspector has a personality more than just being an inspector. The main suspect has a personality more than just being the main suspect. You know, they are not all enigmatic and mysterious and stuff. They have a human side to it. You know. So I guess that is my 6 recommendations. 7, I guess. 7 recommendations.
There's a casteism also in that movie shown very.
Yes. Every type of problem that could plague a crime like this is shown in that.
I would say top 3. I would recommend would be a Tamil film named Psycho.
Okay, sounds good.
It's a homage to Alfred Hitchcock. It's 2018 or 2019. 2019 film. Yeah, it's available on Netflix. It's Tamil movie. In second would be Predestination.
Okay,
It,
sounds nice.
we, yeah. If you have to count in thriller plus sci-fi, Predestination suits it well.
Mhm.
Yeah, it has Ethan Hawke in it. Ethan Hawke in it.
Mm.
And yeah.
Have you
there
watched
is great-
Aankheं?
Yes. Akshay Kumar.
Yeah. Akshay Kumar,
Yeah,
Amitabh
and-
Bachchan, Arjun Rampal, Paresh Rawal.
Yeah,
Sushmita
and,
Sen.
and if a
I'm truly missing
comedy,
a lot of Bollywood good movies. Like gotta watch it.
and comedy thriller, I would suggest it's a Marathi film. Khabardar, if you have.
Khabardar is amazing.
Yeah, Khabardar is a Marathi movie. It's comedy and it's a thriller. It has a very good मतलब
Plot to
कॉमिक
it.
के साथ जो प्लॉट भी अच्छा मतलब.
Yeah, and I just love that it seamlessly blends together. It doesn't feel like a thriller trying to shoehorn comedy in there. It's like the jokes play out themselves. They don't feel like it's like अरे क्यों बना रहे हैं यार ये सिर्फ comedy बना था ना. It's not like that. It's really nice.
Yeah.
So that would be my Khabardar, Psycho Tamil, and Predestination.
Yeah.
What would be yours, Himanshu?
Okay, mine would be like the first one would be kind of out of the box ish, but Murder on the Orient Express.
Oh my.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like the way they have crafted the end, I was on the edge of the seat.
It's like you know the book, you know what happened, but still you're hooked to that film.
Yeah, Hercule.
Yeah, man, like
Hercule Poirot.
what can I say? It is an awesome movie.
Yep.
Yeah, and also I would like to recommend Looper. Has anybody
Looper,
watched it?
Yes. Looper is like the best
Yeah.
time travel movie.
Yeah, it is a sci-fi, but yeah, it had a thriller ending. You have
Yes.
to agree. Yeah, and another I would like to recommend is Gone Girl is like my all-time favorite. And also there is one sci-fi movie which can also be converged into thriller, which is Minority Report.
Minority Report is one of the best ever movies by Spielberg.
Yeah, Tom Cruise.
Period.
It's fine, yeah, and like the story is designed well, and all of the things land perfectly into their own spot.
Yeah. Some fun fact: the original Drishyam, the Malayalam version of Drishyam, Mohanlal, the movie is getting a sequel,
Wow.
and it's
cool.
coming on Amazon Prime this February 19.
Wow.
Oh,
Drishyam 2, Mohanlal ones. And it's also getting a Hollywood remake, I think so. Yeah, it's getting a Hollywood remake, but a female lead in it.
oh,
Instead of male, it will have a female lead. I think so. It will be Meryl Streep or someone like her.
I guess this kind of storyboards are like made a lot of times in Hollywood. I guess covering some leads of your recent kill. These kind of
Yeah.
storyboards are quite common in Hollywood.
Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah, but I heard. I mean, it was
Even if it's a rumor, it sounds amazing.
not rumor. I think so on Instagram or Filmfare post or someone like that. Yeah, sorry, not him. Meryl Streep, Hilary Swank. Yeah, Hilary Swank is going to play the female to play Mohanlal's character.
Nice.
Instead of a male, the male lead, the female lead. So that one.
Mhm.
I mean, to add two more thrillers, I would,
Sure.
I mean, Jordan Peele's Get Out and Us.
Both of them
Oh
are
my God.
amazing movies. I would rank them as
Yeah,
horror though. It's kind of
Yeah,
thriller,
yeah.
but it's kind of horror.
Most of
more
the parts
horror,
are
but
horror.
but the way they keep you on edge of the seat. I mean, See,
Yeah.
when I watch a horror movie, my hands are covered on my face. That's my main motive while watching horror movie. And watching a
Yeah.
thriller movie, I should be edge of my seat. So while watching Get Out, I was on the edge of my seat. So I think we should count it as a thriller.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Also, it's like
Mhm.
they're not just good thrillers or good horror movies. They're excellent stories. Before
So, yeah, that
concluding,
was
though, I would like to mention a few more channels. Cinefix is one of the nicest. Cinefix is one of the nicest channels for movies and movie buffs. Second is Filmento. They actually
we are a
do.
big,
They
I'm a
actually do.
subscriber of Filmento, yeah.
Yeah. They do amazing dissertations. Then there is, if you want to get into the more technical side of it, there's Nerdwriter, Lessons from a Screenplay, lot of film channels about film essays and video essays about film. You can watch them and get so much insight. It's like, you have never seen films in that way before. It's like that. It's so good.
That's how we end today's episode. So
Yeah.
we will
More to
meet
come.
again. Yeah, more to come. We will meet you on very next Saturday with new topic, new friend of us.
Yeah.
Till then, stay home, stay safe.
And if you like this podcast, like it, share it, and do subscribe.
I'm gonna share it. I'm gonna share it with everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's it, and cause life's good.
It can be better.